Hey guys, just checking a few things before I call my guest. Just gonna refresh the page. Thought I'd do this one standing up today. Just checking the video feed. I've only got one viewer. Brilliant. Yeah, I was listening to some good old Devin Townsend. Well, strapping young lad, but still Devin Townsend. I cannot speak today. Just for I look at all the comments from my iPod instead of on my tablet, because I think that's why one of the reasons why my yeah, I don't know. Oh, maybe not. Alright, never mind. Just gonna read the comments a bit later then, because I think my tablet, I haven't used it in a while and it's really freaking slow. So this might be one of those interviews where I don't read your comments straight away. Or if you're typing some stuff up now, then let me know. I'll just go around quickly and see if you put anything up. Plus, I put my iPhone on charge anyway, so I'll put it down somewhere. So far, I've got 4 viewers in. That's pretty good. Just gonna open on the can. What time is it now? 2 minutes. I'll call him up. Well, I almost lost my throat now. Don't worry. It's only Pepsi Max. Just check something in a minute with the camera. And that's John from There's on the Costume. And Greg's just liked the video, and well, there you go. So there's the video. There's my guest. So I'm going to give him a call. Hope you don't mind me standing up, Greg. I think it's 5 o'clock. Nearly 5 o'clock, so I'm going to give him a call pretty much now. And leave you with this image of the almighty strappy young lad. And of course, the almighty Devin Townsend. There should just be a specific day for Devin Townsend. Where's this? You just listen to nothing about Devin Townsend. Strappy young lad, Devin Townsend band, project, his solo stuff, and stuff he did with Steve Vai. So I'm going to call my guest. I'll turn off that. Get back a bit. I hope he's answering. It's raining. Might go back out here. Hello.
Hello, Jay.
Hello, Greg. How you doing?
How's it going, man?
Oh, I'm very good. Oh, let me just turn you up a bit.
Yeah. Hello, people on the internet.
On the internet, on the interscrebs.
Yeah, indeed.
Or a complete pain in the ass sometimes, but there you go.
Yeah.
But that's about it. Yeah. Oh, liking the beard, by the way.
Oh yes, yeah. I just decided to, whilst quarantine's going on, I just thought, like, why not let all of this grow until whenever it's all going to be over. Yeah. So
mine's all year round thing. It doesn't come off unless I just trim like little bits off. And I was like, oh, there's a little split end. I'll just get rid of it.
Yeah.
You know, that sort of thing. And you're on the big screen.
Yes, I am on the big screen. So
you're a movie star.
Yeah, no, not a movie star at all.
No, well, you're a YouTube star at least.
Well, I accept the compliment.
No, that's good. For anyone out there that doesn't know who this lovely man is, or hasn't really been on YouTube that much, or you have, or you just watch what you want, this is a mate of mine named Greg. He has a YouTube channel called TheStrongBoyz19. Strong Boys with a Z, not an S. You remember that?
So I am going to quickly show you what it looks like. So for those who are curious,
cool. That's his YouTube channel, people, and his profile picture is him with, I'm trying to remember his name. He's in Mastodon, isn't he?
Yes, and that is
What's his name?
Bill Kelleher.
That's it. There we go. Because I saw first time I saw Mastodon actually was download 2007.
Nice. I always wanted to see Mastodon, and on that picture of me with Bill, it was at a guitar clinic at PMT in Birmingham.
Nice.
And I decided to bring with me my favourite Mastodon album, and I managed to get it signed by the man himself.
Ah, sweet.
Crack the Sky is really one of my top 10 all-time favourite albums, and this is the one that really, in my opinion, defines Mastodon. I mean, they've never made a bad album. So...
Oh, no. Well, when I was watching him at Download, I went off a little bit, not right to the front. My dad was off to the side of me because he came with me. I was only 15 at the time. He didn't like Mastodon because he couldn't understand what they were saying. But then he liked Lamb of God, which is a bit odd, but there you go.
Yeah,
and some people might say, oh, Randy doesn't make any sense when he, sings. Well, to us he does.
Yeah.
To us he does, obviously, because if it didn't make sense, then why the hell are you listening to metal in the first place, sort of thing.
Yeah.
So,
speaking of Lamb of God, I have some of their albums. I have almost all of them, but I'm looking forward to their new album this year.
I got to give that a good old listen. Because I got about 5 of them there. I still need to get All American Gospel. That's because every time I'm like, oh yeah, I'm going to go get some Lamb of God stuff. And then there's another CD from another band. It's like, oh, get that first.
Yeah.
I'm like, crap. I've been looking at Strapping Young Lad and Devin Townsend band CDs as well. I need to pick up.
Yeah, I need to do that. That's one of my goals when I will be thinking about purchasing again. So, Strapping Young Lad is a band that comes to my head immediately.
Yeah, Strapping Young Lad, they're not going anymore, obviously, because Devin's doing his own thing. And I'm looking at my set list that I got from him when he played Cardiff last year.
Nice.
It's a beautiful sight to behold, I have to say, because my mate Chris came with me. We bought the meet and greet. You get like meet and greets. He bought that, and I was like, well, I'll pay you money, but also pay you in beer. So I was like, obviously, really you've got to do that. So let's chat some metal on Jake's Metal Chat, episode 4.
Indeed.
4, people. Indeed. 4. Because the third one was John from Incantation, which is a really great death metal band if you want to start listening to death metal. Do you listen to death metal? Have you really given it a chance?
I do like the genre a lot. So I have a lot of albums, mostly through different genres, but for metal, it holds a big place in my soul. So,
such as myself, I've been listening to it since I was 11, so that's 2003. So that's been 17 years now.
Yeah, 17 years for you, and I've gone into metal close around the same time since I was like, really 11 or 12 years old.
Yeah, about me, 11, 12, 11, 12. Well, I started listening to it about like 2002, really. Didn't give much of a thought until, a year later, and then when I hit 12 that same year, I was like, there's got to be more bands, so like Metallica, Slayer, Pantera, Anthrax, Megadeth, Black Sabbath. They're one of my all-time favourites. 50th one, because went on their The End tour.
Yeah.
Which was brilliant, because me and my mate Chris went.
Yeah, I had caught Black Sabbath live on the 13 era, and I had only seen them once before they've ended their career, and it was at the Birmingham NIA, and obviously Bill Ward wasn't drumming, but
no, it was not.
I'm very glad to see.
Yeah, I was happy.
3 members, and I was having such a blast.
Yeah, it was such a great show, because me and my mate Chris, well, I messaged him on Facebook. This is back in 2012 now. We're going back a bit. I messaged him saying, so, I got 2 tickets for Black Sabbath. Do you want to go? I did not hear from him that entire time. And the reason I didn't hear from him, because he was jumping on his sofa, just excited, because I'm going to see Black Sabbath. I was excited as well, but I wasn't jumping on my sofa. I was probably just like, I'm so looking forward to this.
Yeah.
Because they're one of the biggest bands to, hit the metal scene. Well, because I think people might argue, oh yeah, they're like bluesy rock. Well, yeah, they got that blues feel because it used to be a blues band called Earth, but they had a name before that, which I can't think of the name right now. It's escaping me right now. I was just listening to City by not Devin Townsend, strapping on that, it is Devin.
Yeah, it is really Devin, but with his band.
This is his band. He's done Steve Vai as well. Well, we're going to mixing up the topic on Black Sabbath to Devin Townsend to death metal, and other things. I keep getting this thing from bloody iCloud to connect my email address. No, I'm not going to do that. You bugger off. Don't ruin my live stream. No. So let's go back to I want to ask you, what was the first band that you heard in the metal scene? What got you into metal? I've asked this to all the other guys.
I was actually a question that immediately makes me reflect on my past and to think about like the very first times of listening to some metal music.
Yeah.
The first moments that I had heard of metal music, it was from some part of my childhood. I was playing a PlayStation 1 game.
Ooh, which one?
Was called Demolition Racer.
I didn't play that, no.
And that game had a really good mixture of remixes to some industrial kind of metal sounds. And one of the songs that I had heard were some tracks from Fear Factory.
Nice, I love Fear Factory.
Yeah, Fear Factory just caught my eye, and for the
show your CDs off by all means. I'll show you a few of mine in a minute.
Yeah,
that means
Fear
walk
Factory,
into my cupboard.
Yeah, Fear Factory was one of the first bands that I was, interested in hearing.
Yeah.
But one of the songs that was on that game was a very early version of Memory Imprints Never End, which would later on be in Digimortal, and a remix version of Descent from Obsolete.
Obsolete. Yeah,
Obsolete, yeah.
Brilliant
album.
album.
First time I heard Obsolete, it was at that phase when I was just playing loads of metal albums and different bands, etc. But last time I played that album was when I was strolling around my garden and just listening to it. It gave me such nostalgia.
As you do. You just stroll around your garden. I can stroll around my garden, but I got a field behind my house. I can just walk there because I had my mate's folk project and I had Devin Townsend on. The song goes, E, that one. E. I was just listening to that because it was like the most acoustic one on Addicted.
Yes.
So I was like, and I actually got that album signed by the man himself.
Yes, Devin Townsend. I have been, unfortunately, close to a decade late of listening to his stuff because I was exploring various genres.
I didn't get into him until 2008.
Yeah, with Devin Townsend.
Maybe 7.
Since the past few weeks, I was listening to Strapping and then diving into his own solo stuff, and that made me realize and think of him as a person and how he became such a very genuine yet interesting character.
Yeah, because if you ever get to meet him, because I've met him twice, and he's such a lovely person. Because when I saw him, like the last time I saw him was last year, obviously in Cardiff. I was like one of my last big gigs of last year. I had a picture of him. You probably see my profile picture. It's me and Devin.
Yeah.
That's where that picture was. And after I've had that picture taken, I just gave him a hug because I thought this man deserves a hug.
Yeah,
he's a lovely bloke, I gotta say.
Yeah, he just definitely deserves a lot of the love from
a lot of just. I give him a lot of love and respect just for what he does, because he can do really heavy stuff, and then he can go from that to something soft, like do acoustic stuff. He should just make an entire acoustic album of his own songs and covers of other songs, and I think people will really, dig it. I would dig it. Yeah. I'll just be like this. Oh, I need to chill. Let's put on Devon acoustic.
Yeah.
Or whatever. Just put an acoustic version of Vampira or something.
Yeah.
That's a great song.
Yeah.
Really great song.
So, I remember the first moments that I was really becoming interested into the metal scene. It was through 2 TV channels of many music videos that were Scuzz and Kerrang, and the first band that really caught my eye and was like, my eyes were drawn into what was going on is Slipknot, and I've seen various videos from their Volume 3 era.
That's when I got into them, because my mate got into them when they released their self-titled album.
Yeah.
Which is, it's still a great album. I mean, I haven't listened to Slipknot as much as I used to. I still like them. I still love their music, but I'm more into like my death metal. Sometimes I'll go into black metal. Just stick with death metal nowadays. I go to doom metal, sludge metal.
That is fair enough, and you have your taste that I do appreciate.
Yeah, I still like Slipknot. I'll go back to them for like nostalgia purposes, because it's like that's what I was listening to. Because like I said, I had Metallica in the mix, Pantera in the mix, Slipknot in the mix, Black Sabbath, Iron Maiden, Judas Priest. Alright, this just goes on. I have to show you my CD collection, but there you go.
It's just an excellent mixture, and this was...
Oh, there we go.
Was the album that
Volume
really
3,
got
folks.
me into the band. This was the first Slipknot album that I've heard, but the one album from the band...
That is a great album.
I think it was... I could be right or I could be wrong. I'm trying to really think hard about my past, but this album is like the one that gave me the most support and love and appreciation, and it was their first album.
Yes, the self-titled. I mean, they had one before that, which was like from '96, I think, and I'm trying to remember the bloody name of it now.
It is the Mayfield Kill Repeat.
That's the one. Yeah, I don't have it, but it's very hard to find. Well, if you can find a copy, it just goes way too much money.
It is really, really, really hard to find.
Well, I've heard it on YouTube, and it sounds really good. It's like early Slipknot, so really early Slipknot. And I've seen like old live shows of them before they even had Corey Taylor in the band with the old vocalist, and the old vocalist looked like he just taped his head.
Yeah, I do have...
Which is like early stages.
I do have from my collection the fake version of the demo, and by the way, if anybody out there that's watching this, if any of you are Slipknot fans, do not buy unofficial bootlegs of this demo.
No, we don't buy bootlegs here.
And they were not pressed at that time.
We don't do bootlegs.
The original green CD release of this demo was made to only 1,000 copies, but the fake version of this is really the most common fake pressing that any Slipknot fan would get. But to have an original, it's very expensive.
Oh yeah, because you're going to get people that will charge like maybe 100 quid, 200 quid, whatever. It's like, here's the original pressing. I want you to pay me £50,000 for it. It's like, no, I'm not going to pay over £1,000 for an album that's really hard to find, because I'm trying to find like really rare death metal albums, which some people will just go, oh yeah, buy this for 395 quid. Why? Yeah. Why would I want to pay that much? It's stupid, isn't it?
It is really ridiculous. It's just a rip-off, really. So I could really go on longer about my obsession with Slipknot, but at the same time, I got into Slipknot after seeing a lot of the music videos from the Volume 3 album. I have discovered many bands, especially my obsession with Korn, to later tastes with Iron Maiden, Machine Head, Mastodon, and also some Trivium with the Ascendancy album.
Yeah, that's got to be my favourite one of those.
Yes. And
love that album.
System of a Down, I almost forgot about.
Oh, System of a Down. Oh, they're so great live.
Yeah, I would have loved to see them live.
They're
and
so,
another band
so good.
That got me into the industrial side of metal music in terms of other countries was Rammstein, and I had seen.
Oh, Rammstein, they're so great. The first time I discovered them actually was Triple X, because you see them at the beginning. If no one knew that, if you watched Triple X and you didn't know who that band was at first, and now you do know, that was Rammstein, people.
Yes.
Rammstein.
So, Rammstein were one of those bands that obviously I had not known what they're saying, but I really liked the sound of their music, and it was the Sonne music video that drew me into the band.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the one I heard first. Well, actually, technically, the one I heard first was Firefly. Because that's the one they're playing in the film. And I was like, who the hell are these guys breathing fire? And then some guy gets shot by a sniper. And then finding out later on it's Rammstein.
Yeah, with the over-the-top pyrotechnics, all the lights and the fires, etc.
Yeah, I got to see them twice at Download. So that was 2013 and then 16, so 3 years later.
Brilliant. Brilliant.
So good live.
Here is an album that I remember hearing one song, and this was one of the really early stages. I was obsessed with the song of Enlightened by the Cold, and this was the band that
Shadows Fall.
This is the band that really discovered myself into the melodic metalcore kind of scene.
Yeah.
And at that time, this was in 2004, and I was in primary school at the time, and I was madly obsessed with Green Day. But when I had first heard Enlightened by the Cold from this band with the music video, it was like I couldn't get it out of my head. I just put it on repeat.
Yeah. I remember hearing it when I was at secondary school around. Yeah, it was like 2007 I heard it, because I saw them Download that same year. Yeah. And they played that, and that was the first song they opened with. And I just remember, I'm trying to remember the vocalist's name. He's got really long dreadlocks.
Yeah.
And I just remember just women, it's like, holy... Well, I'm actually going to show you a vinyl of a band, if you're into your death metal. It's a Swedish band. It's... Unleashed.
Yes, that's really cool.
This came with a CD and a T-shirt. I got the T-shirt. Cut the sleeves off of it because, well, it looked better as a sleeveless top, but I'll probably just buy the same design, which is that design there on the T-shirt.
Yeah, nice.
That's the band, obviously. They've been around for years, these guys. Yeah. Where No Life Dwells. So, since you're showing stuff that, well, I know the bands anyway, but there's a band on there in your collection I don't know of, please show me. But this one, definitely check these guys out if you're into your death metal. Swedish death metal, which one of my mates knows me for, but I got another mate who's more into it than I am, but you know.
Right. So I think for albums that you may have not seen before from my collection, here is a band that is from Birmingham that I have reviewed from the channel, and these guys are really onto the symphonic stages of metal stuff. And
like a bit of symphonic.
This band is Dekesis.
Oh, I know Dekesis. Yeah, I've seen them a bunch of times. They played Bristol a bunch of times. Yeah.
Yes, Dekesis with their new album.
I got some of them as friends, actually.
Yes, Dekesis, just an amazing band.
They're so good.
They are really close friends with another band that I'm very happy to know about for almost 10 years, and that is Fury.
Fury, yes. Oh, I don't have that album. I got the other two.
Yeah, I have their 2 EPs and their other 2 albums, but this is their latest album, The Grand Prize, and this is the first album with a new lineup. But if you haven't got this album, I highly recommend.
Yeah, because a friend of mine, she plays bass in my mate Becky.
Oh yes,
she's Becky Baldwin. Yeah, Becky Baldwin. That's we all know in Bristol. We all know who she is.
Yes,
she's awesome.
I would definitely love to meet the rest of the band. I have known Julian.
Yeah, I've met Julian.
So Julian with Becky and the other guys, Jake and Tom, they have their own separate roles and their craft. And
yeah, of course.
This album is definitely worth checking out if you are into some of the heavy metal kind of inspiration sounds. There is a lot of these brilliant melodic guitar riffs and solos, very inspired by bands like Metallica to Iron Maiden.
Of course.
And if you haven't checked these guys out, those that are watching, please check them out and give them a lot of love and support.
Check out Fury if you haven't, if you're into that sort of stuff. If not, then no worries. You don't have to like everything, because it'd be pretty boring if you liked every single band. Well, I'm wearing a British band, Anil Nathrak.
Awesome.
They're a Birmingham band as well. Thinking about it.
Yeah.
Really great band. So how have you been coping with this lockdown, by the way? Because I didn't actually ask the other guys that. Actually, I did.
No. I think, well, it's obviously very difficult for many of us, but I think for me personally and physically, during the lockdown, I have been into this really nostalgic phase, and had given me a lot of free time to revisit a lot of the metal bands that I hadn't listened to for ages, especially, like I've mentioned, about Obsolete by Fear Factory, and now diving into Devin Townsend and Strapping Young Lad. But it made me reflect about my past, on my previous tastes of metal bands that I still love listening to, but to discover many more from different genres. It puts me in a very reflective and positive position. And one of the other things that I loved during the lockdown, besides all of the chaos, is that I do love to meditate. And that's something that I had not done at all for a long time at the moment, because I was interested in meditation since last year.
Oh, cool.
Because I used to do yoga, but since it has a lot of stretches and physical exercises for the body, I think meditation is a comfortable feeling to make me feel relaxed, and to make me think productively about what I'm going to do, and to have some more of the self-belief in myself. And when I was strolling around the garden, I was listening to various metal albums, as well as different artists, especially like David Bowie.
Yeah, I got one of his CDs actually. Space Odyssey. I got that one.
Space Odyssey, yeah.
Yeah, I got that. I think that's the only one I own.
I do love a lot of David Bowie.
Yeah,
but
I love David Bowie.
One of the bands I wanted to come back to, since I have heard their new album last year, I really like this band so much more the more I got into their discography, is Tool's discography.
Oh, cool.
So
that's what's that? 10,000 Days.
This is Lateralis.
Oh,
I haven't got 10,000 Days yet.
Okay. Oh yeah, 10,000 Days is a different cover. It kind of reminded me of 10,000 Days a bit.
Yeah. And speaking of other metal bands, for me to remember what I've been doing lately, I've got one album from a band that I'm very familiar with, and that I just decided to grow the listening into this band's discography, and that is the Testament.
Oh, what an album!
This is
The Souls of Black.
This is the only Testament album that I've got so far. The Souls of Black.
Yeah, I got the Legacy.
The Legacy, really good one. But I think my favourite Testament discography, era, is, I think I really like the 1980s, but I think with some of the later albums, they are really good. But if I have to pick my favourite Testament album, for now, it would maybe be The New Order or Practice What You Preach.
Yeah. All fantastic stuff. I've heard their new album as well. Have you heard it?
That really caught my eye. I haven't yet, but I really like it.
Oh, it's fantastic. I love it. They played a new song when they played Bristol this year before this pandemic fully took over, and I actually got to meet Gene Hoglan and Steve DiGiorgio after the show.
Oh, nice.
I got pictures with them. You've probably seen the pictures. Yeah, you've probably seen the pictures of me with Steve and Gene. I posted them on Facebook.
Yes, Gene.
He's
Gene
fantastic.
Is a brilliant, fantastic drummer, as you say.
Yeah.
I really like him a lot in Strapping Young Lad.
Yes,
but
of course, Strapping Young Lad.
That I discovered the uniqueness, the style of drumming that Gene's got is this band that I am a fan of a lot, and that is Death.
Yes, that's The Sound of Perseverance.
Yes, that's
their last album.
This is their last album, and
Gene wasn't on that one. He was on Individual Thought Patterns and Symbolic.
Yes, they got a different drummer for this album, but I think with Gene's drumming on the previous albums, he has his own style.
Yeah,
that's what I love about
what I love about his style is, you know how most people hit the hi-hat with their right hand? He hits it with his left. Because he trained himself how to do that, and I'm thinking, well, I'd love to do it that way, but I know it's not going to turn out that way.
Yeah, he's a right-handed drummer, but he plays a really openly. That's what I really like about some drummers, is that
he's brilliant.
They do have some audacity to vary their fills and beats and to explore different ways on the kit, and that's why Gene is one of the most unique drummers in metal. Yeah,
he's very unique. I was chatting to him as well. Actually, good thing about meeting those two, I was like, not only am I meeting two members of Testament, I'm meeting two ex-members of Death.
Nice, that's awesome.
Because Steve DiGiorgio was on Individual Thought Patterns, playing bass, and I think he was on Human, or that might have been someone else. I'm brain farting at the moment.
No worries.
I probably got it right. Someone says, no, dude, you got it right.
Yeah.
Am I sure I got it right, or am I just being a complete idiot and someone be like, you got it wrong? I don't know.
I am a big fan of their discography, but the Sound of Perseverance is always my favourite.
Yeah.
And Symbolic almost took the
my
spot.
Favourite song from that album is Spirit Crusher. It's always going to be Spirit Crusher.
Yeah.
I just love the opening bass line. It's like, dude. It's like, what?
There's so many great gems, not on this album, but on the previous albums. But if I have to pick my favourites, besides Spirit Crusher, and I love their Painkiller cover as well.
Oh, yeah. I was just like, Death covering Painkiller by Judas Priest. How can... What? I was like...
Then screams and the perfect tight synchronization with each band member, the dexterity, the powerful sound of the band with that cover is one of the best. But I think my favourite song on this album, so many. Well, 8 songs, but my favourite for now would maybe be Flesh and the Power It Holds.
Oh, that's a great one. Yeah, definitely, because I got a lot of friends here in Bristol, and a lot of them do like Death, because that Bloodstock 2015, yeah, that sounds right. They did the Death to All tour, and they had ex-members of Death playing, so it was like cool. And the vocals that they had sounded almost like Chuck, or did sound like Chuck with his own little flair. But obviously, there's only one Chuck Sheridan, and he's been gone since 2001.
Yeah,
But his legacy lives on, though.
Yes, indeed. I think for Chuck, he was just one of those guys that is, such a big, versatile, progressive, and a big figure in the death metal scene. And yeah. I really liked his previous vocal tones with his lower grunts and the vocals on the previous album.
He changed it up, obviously.
They just sound really, I will say, really beastly and confident. But with his higher range on Sound of Perseverance, it just sounds totally different, but it matches as well.
Yeah, because he changed his vocals, because like, if you hear the very first album, Scream Bloody Gore, which is the first one I brought, because the first time I heard them was Lack of Comprehensions from Human, which might have to be my favourite one by theirs, like before Chuck went with the more higher vocals. But I love all the Death stuff. But I would, if someone asked me, could you rank them from your all-time favourite to before that, like I don't think I could.
Yeah, I think I have reviewed their entire discography, but I did a top 5 because of the 5 albums that I consider to be more of my favourites.
Yeah, because you did that with Korn as well. You did like top, 13 Korn albums?
Yeah, they've done quite a lot of albums, but I did rank their discography.
Yeah, you ranked it from like your least favourite to your absolute favourite, and you did that with Death, obviously, your least favourite to your absolute favourite. I don't think I could do that, because it's like, I'm like, I like everything, but then I might listen to it back and be like, okay, maybe that's a bit odd that they mix something into it. Like,
I think when I did my top 5 Death albums, those are the ones, as I said, that are like more of my favourites because they've made more than 5. But I think if I have to pick my least favourite, even though I love their discography, it's near perfect.
Yeah, you're not going to like everything.
I think my least favourite, but even though it's still really good, is Spiritual Healing.
Oh, yeah. Spiritual Healing. I like it. I like James Murphy's solos on it, because James Murphy's a big part of that scene as well, in like the Florida death metal scene, because there's a lot of Florida death metal bands, Death being one of them.
Mm-hmm. Spiritual Healing does have some of the best enraging and a menacing powerhouse of material. That's one of my favorites. One of my favorite songs in the whole repertoire of the band, and I think
that's a great song.
From the band being from sounding old school, from Scream Bloody Gore to Leprosy, and all the way to
Leprosy's a
many different
belter.
Melodies to riffs and the expansion of music. They are still,
because Leprosy's a belter of an album, and also the first one, because that's the first, like I said, that was the first one I brought. This was 2009. I was in Florida. I brought that, and my brother bought for Master Series by Gojira, and that's the first time I heard Gojira as well. Yes,
I really do like Death's discography so much. Scream Bloody Gore is just brilliant.
He was kind of doing those high vocals anyway, but it's just when he was screaming, like when you're hearing the title track, he does Scream Bloody Gore low first, and then he goes like to that high bit, and I was just like, when I was listening to it the first time, I was just like, what the hell am I listening to? This is amazing. So someone who can play guitar and do these vocals at the same time. I mean, I don't think I could do it. I'll just be like,
it grows a lot of the talents that Chuck has. So.
Oh yeah, definitely. There was him, and there's a bunch of other musicians, not just in death metal, but there's thrash and black metal, doom metal, heavy metal, and we can even go to hard rock, and there's a lot of musicians in the hard rock scene.
Yeah.
Like, what I kind of call this band hard rock and heavy metal, and that's Motorhead.
Motorhead. I love Motorhead. I even have a belt, and the belt buckle is the logo of the band, the mascot logo.
I got a glass because I got the Road Crew Pale Ale as a Christmas present one year. I've kept the tin and I've kept the glass. The bottle's gone. That's gone. That's not coming back unless I buy some. But yeah, Motorhead. First time I saw them 2005 at the Constant Hall here in Bristol, with Girls' School and In Flames supporting them. So that's the first time I knew about In Flames.
In Flames
and Girls' School as well.
Yeah. With In Flames, in my personal opinion, I really think the 90s output is like for me.
Yeah, Lunar Strain, The Jester Race, and Brain Farting Again. What was the other album after The Jester Race? Comment, people, help us out. Well, me more than anything.
Don't worry about it, mate. But I haven't got a lot of the 90s output, but I guess pretty much half. But I do have the Lunar Strain.
That is a fantastic album.
This one contains the Subterranean EP, and there is.
Oh, it's the re-release then.
There's actually a spelling error on the track listing. If you can see.
Yeah, I'm looking. Oh, it says. Is that supposed to say Dead Eternity?
Yes, there's one letter wrong. There's one letter missing. I mean.
There's supposed to be a T somewhere.
Yes. So, yeah, really good album.
Things happen, I guess. Ooh. Well, I need to get that album because I got the Jester Race. It's like the re-release. Love that album. My favourite songs from it is Artifacts in the Black Rain and December Moon.
Yeah, I got...
Yes!
This was one of those albums at one of my times in secondary school that I used to play over and over and over. This is the 2010 re-release through
probably one I got.
Records.
I think that's the one I got as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I haven't played this for a long time. I mean, to think about this era of In Flames, it's like, it's really the period that I admire the most. Yeah,
definitely. Yeah, I mean, when I got into them, it wasn't that era. It was what they were doing after that. But then I found that era, and I was like, well, I love death metal, and I also love this melodic death metal scene as well. So I'll go listen to the melodic death metals, and then I found At the Gates and Dark Tranquility, which the singer was on the first In Flames album, actually.
Awesome. The last In Flames album that I had got in the collection, although I need to buy Clayman, I do have Horacle right here.
No, I don't have that one.
Horacle is one of my favourites. But for me, the Jester Race is...
Yeah, the Jester Race. And Lunar Strain. Let's not forget Lunar Strain.
Lunar Strain.
And also, now I got all their collection now because my mate gave me all of his collection. That's Children of Bodom. Are you a big Children of Bodom fan?
Speaking of Children of Bodom, it was my first time seeing Slipknot when I turned 15, and Machine Head and Children of Bodom.
Oh, you on that tour? You went to that tour. I missed that.
I was at the. It was in the NIA.
I missed that, unfortunately.
I think.
Bugger.
Children of Bodom are one of those bands that I really respect.
Yeah.
They have great talent and a sound of their own, but I'm not really a fan of the band, but I have a lot of respect for the band.
Yeah, because the first time I saw them was Bloodstock 2010. Is when me and my mate, I'm gonna mention my mate Chris again because we both went.
Yeah.
And met up with some people there. Now we got a group called Camp Throw because he's got a big, massive afro, and when it's not tied back and he's windmilling, it's just like whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. It's like, get out of his way. Why? Too late.
Yeah.
No, yeah, I love my mate Chris. He's awesome because he likes a lot of the same bands I do. He's not much into the death metal scene, but he loves Sabbath. He loves Devin Townsend, Meshuggah, Gojira. List goes on.
Yeah. Speaking of the band of Gojira, they were one of the bands that I was really into through a live clip from the Link Alive.
Nice.
And I was around 14 or 15, and the first song that I had listened to, besides seeing their performance, it was on the track Remembrance and Lizard Skin.
Yeah, Remembrance is a good track. Definitely. First one I heard was from Master Series actually, and it was the first track, Ocean Planet.
Yeah.
And then after that it was Backbone.
Blackburn,
and then
indeed.
From the Sky, and then there's only I'm trying to remember the bloody tracks now. This is bad. Come on.
Don't worry about it.
This is
my.
Because I can usually remember a lot of songs, like because I always listen to an album and I pick my favourites, and I tend to forget about the other songs. But it's like there's all great songs in it, and I got that album signed, by the way.
Yes, I've seen.
Completely signed by the band, and that was Bloodstock 2013. Because I had to give 2 other albums to 2 mates of mine, Chris being one of them. Another mate of mine, Alma, had to give her a CD of mine, so then I can get them all signed. And then he was like, "Oh yeah, I'll buy it from you." No, no, get it signed yourself. Oh, I love him because he's just a silly boy. You're a silly boy. Also, you play guitar as well. I've noticed.
Yes, I do.
How long have you been playing?
I have been playing guitar. Obviously, with guitar lessons, it started out acoustically, and then I was learning many different songs from the different genres of folk to country.
I love folk.
A lot of the classic 60s pop and folk stuff. But in terms of electric guitar, when I have been taking lessons professionally for learning lead guitar, it was around like the early 2010s. So, but this really takes me back. When I used to play a lot of my PRS Santana guitar, I used to play random metal songs. Like I tried to play some riffs from Mastodon to Deftones and
Deftones,
and even System of a Down's music, because they are a band that has a lot of really heavy political messages, but the music, a lot of those riffs are just so addicting to play, and I just play a lot of their songs.
Yeah, definitely. The only song by System I can really play all the way through is Sugar.
Yeah, Sugar's
I can play a bit of Aerials as well, and I can play Chop Suey and Toxicity on drums, but I played drums on the wall, so I might have forgotten half of it.
It's really one of the funnest songs to play.
We're going back a bit here, folks. We're going on nostalgic, because on the other ones we had death metal. We had death metal on my last chats, people. Toxicity is a brilliant album. And the song they actually ended with at Download 2011 was Sugar.
Mm-hmm.
I thought they were going to end with like Aerials, and it would just be like an epic, just like drawn out noise, and then it was just going back to their tents and stuff. I thought it was like Sugar.
I had seen live clips of them playing Sugar as the last one, but I think I would love to see System. I think for my choice of the first song in a live set, it would possibly be Prison Song.
Prison Song, yeah.
Prison Song is just perfect. you know, the first cymbal hit and the guitar, and then silence, the noise will just be erupting.
Yeah, definitely. And also Psycho as well. You got that non-bit in Psycho, and all of a sudden it's like hits in with the vocals, hits in with everything. It's got the heavy bit, and then all of a sudden it goes a bit softer, it goes heavy again. Every time I read their lyrics, I'm thinking it's such great music and it can be emotional, but sometimes their lyrics are like, okay, this looks a bit not dodgy, but it looks a bit like okay, what was he on at the time? What were they doing? You know?
They were one of the bands that can show a lot of humour.
Yeah, it's humorous lyrics.
Yeah, humorous lyrics, and what I love.
That's what I was trying to look for.
What I love about System of a Down more is that they do explore a lot of the lyricism, lots of lyricism to government issues, to politics, environmental issues.
Pretty much anything.
The US prison states and other stuff like that. That's what I really like. And the music that matches those things together is a brilliant combination.
Yeah, definitely. It's just their music. I mean, I'm still gonna love their music. Like I said earlier, I'm repeating myself again. I've been listening to more death metal, obviously, but then I'll go back to System, and then like because I got Spotify, and I'll just go on Spotify, find a song from any band, stick it on, you know, because everyone's using Spotify. Didn't use it for a while until now.
Yeah, I used to have Spotify, but obviously for me, I'm always a physical person.
Yeah, I like to buy physical CDs.
A lot of CDs and tons of records, etc.
Oh, well, I showed you vinyl. Wow, yeah. Guys, we're gonna do some vinyl now. let's do some vinyl. Let's do some vinyl. Vinyl, not vinyls. If you say vinyls, no, you don't say vinyls. You say vinyl.
Vinyl or records.
Records.
I used to call them vinyl. But
yeah.
Record is like.
I just say vinyl.
I like to say records as a fitting word. It's just like of history standards.
Yeah. Or I'll show a classic. Thin Lizzy, Jailbreak.
Brilliant one.
Yeah, I'm a big vinyl collector. I need to get another vinyl case because this one's full. What else have I got? Possessed, Seven Churches, and there's something else in. Oh, Hamville as well. Hard and Heavy.
A lot of my records, some of them are metal, but it's really.
Oh, I got all sorts in here.
Yeah.
I got all sorts in here. Guys, if you can't see me at the moment, I'm looking for records. Sue me. Dire Straits.
Yeah, Dire Straits.
That's Brothers in Arms. This is one of my dad's favourite bands. Because I heard all sorts of music from my mum. She's a big fan of Queen. My dad's a big fan of Dire Straits. So I just got all that mixed in. And then I found, obviously, metal in the end. And then I still listen to these bands. Don't get me wrong. I'm not going to totally blow them off. And last but not least, well, this band's from Coventry, but they always play Birmingham. Bolt Thrower.
Oh, Bolt Thrower. I actually...
This is their very first album. Everyone thinks it's Realm of Chaos, but no, this is their very first one. And then Earache, and then the first one they released on Earache was Realm of Chaos.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, people, but you can say Realm of Chaos is the first, but this is it.
Bolt Thrower was a band that I have just discovered properly for the first time, and it was like more than a month ago. I can show you the album that I bought for me to get into the band.
Yeah.
A lot of my CDs are in messy piles, but this was the album that really got me into Bolt Thrower.
For Victory. Well, if we're going to show CDs, I'll quickly get one, folks. Well, you can talk about whatever you want, like we're here to chat, we're here to have fun.
Yeah,
it's getting warm again.
That's the purpose of Jake's stream. So
yeah, I'll just go get my favourite Bolt Thrower album because I had to sort my CDs out. Because
when I used to do live streams, I still do them, but when I do live streams on my channel, I ask the people that are watching, commenting various questions.
Here's my favourite, the Fourth Crusade.
Yeah.
First time I heard them was because of the song, The Fourth Crusade. Fourth Crusade, people. Which I featured on my CD collection, part 11.
Yes.
This one.
Awesome collection as well.
Awesome collection. I got a lot of CDs, which I'm going to probably have to sort out at some point.
No worries.
Yeah, I might have to reorganise it because some of them couldn't fit because the cupboard's got a loose ceiling or something.
The pain in the ass thing is that when you become a collector, you have like an endless list in your head that you want to just buy. And then as you look at your collection, whether it's on CD or records, it can be just in like non-alphabetical orders, and you have to rearrange them, and that was annoying for me to do as well. So
yeah, because then I just put them in my cupboard and then organise them. I only did it yesterday. Because I was like, oh crap, I know I got to sort this mountain of mess out. Luckily I had Spotify and a speaker, and I just plugged my phone into the speaker, put my Spotify on, and just blasted death metal. Because I was like, this is going to be a task that needs some heavy music. So there we go. Get the music going, man. We're going to do it.
Get the music going, people. Support bands, support artists.
Yeah, what he said.
Buy physical media of records, CDs, and just show any artist or band your true dedication.
Yeah, definitely. Just going to put something on the table. So, what, besides music, we can chat about anything on here. Do you like to play video games? Are you a big video game guy? Because you mentioned video games earlier.
Yes. This was not like way before, but it was before I really got into music. I always have been obsessed, just to replay random selections of games, mostly through the PS1 and PS2 eras. But I would say that my favourite game of all time, for those that are interested in PlayStation 2 nostalgia, my favourite game always is Simpsons Hit and Run.
That's okay.
And I also used to play that game and play one of my other CDs in the background. I remember that I was using one of the cheats in the game, and I was playing Machine Head's Halo in the background.
Oh, Halo. That's a great song. Just sign into my Facebook on another device, and then I can see if people are commenting or not.
Yeah.
Hang on a minute.
For the other games, besides PlayStation 2 ones, I played different PC ones.
Yeah, I did. I play PC games as well. Yeah.
Some various Worms games, and
Worms.
I used to play a lot of the Worms Armageddon game because that was my favourite in the series, but also House of the Dead 3 on PC.
Yeah.
So I used to try and beat that game at the quickest speed possible,
Yeah.
So that you would get extra lives and points.
Yeah, try and beat it at the best possible, time. Because I try to do that.
To get the best times and the fastest, like a speed run thing.
Yeah, I try to do that. Never works.
Yeah, it's insane that there's so many people that do it.
Yeah, it's mad. Trying to, what is it? Yeah, just trying to be at the best possible times. So far, no one's commenting unless I do that.
Yeah.
I don't think it matters. But now I'm just looking at the footage and I think on you're wearing like a bow tie and big glasses. This makes it more fun.
Yeah.
Never mind. we're having a fun interview today, and I think I'm a bit dark in the footage. Never mind. So video games.
Fair enough.
Oh, I'm getting warm again. Doing too much.
Yeah. So, for my experience on revisiting the metal genres of different styles during lockdown, it's given me a lot more of the positivity and the optimism to look back at what I loved listening to, and to let those inspirations still be a big part of my life. And
yeah, definitely.
Speaking of the death metal scenes that you admire, I remember the first album that I had bought on CD that is death metal related. I was 15 and I wanted to get into the band to let the style and the sound grow on me, and that was the 2-disc edition of Cannibal Corpse's Evisceration Plague.
Oh, nice. Evisceration Plague.
Evisceration Plague was the album that...
when did that come out? 2000 and... What year was that? 2009? Was it?
I think it's 2009, yes.
Yeah, definitely. Just... Yeah, we're still live. I thought I did something on my phone. This will all be for naught.
This is the latest Cannibal Corpse album that I have bought not too long ago.
Oh, yeah, that's a good one.
Bloodthirst. To me, this is my second favourite album from the band, and it's possibly their most underrated.
Yeah,
I'm not sure if there are any fans that would agree with me on that, but I think this is one of the best albums with George Corpsegrinder Fisher. But Evisceration Plague was the album that really got me into the band properly.
Yeah, definitely. Well, for me it was what was it? First time I heard Cannibal Corpse was with the Bleeding album, because I heard Staring Through the Eyes of the Dead, and then didn't like it at first, and then I heard Hammer Smash Face, and that got me into the band a little bit more. And
I mean, Hammer Smash Face being like their most popular hit, you obviously just can't do anything wrong with that, because that was the song that I used to hear quite a lot, and I really liked the drumming to the complex guitar riffs. Some moments that were quite thrashy, some parts were like fast with its speed, but Chris's vocals blew my mind at that record.
Yeah, I have to say it is a great record. That's got to be my favourite. Well, a lot of people say my favourite's The Bleeding. Obviously, it's one of my favourites, but I also love Vile, which was the first one you heard Corpsegrinder on.
Mm-hmm.
And then obviously there's other death metal bands like Suffocation, Morbid Angel, Obituary. There's the Swedish band I showed you, Unleashed. I don't know why I had to look at it. Unleashed. Entombed, Dismember, Grave. Obviously, as at the Gates, which is more melodic death. And In Flames, when they were melodic death. Dark Tranquility. There's countless bands that I can go into for this.
Yeah, there's always
mega chat.
There's always an endless amount of bands in that classic genre.
Yeah, I'm just looking at my Facebook here, and it's like 6. What was that? Comments?
6 views, 6 comments,
whatever it is. I'm gonna have to check later.
Are commenting or watching, thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you very much for tuning in. For whoever is tuning in, unless you're at work, then you can rewatch it later. And
but anyways, I remember since a month or a month and a half ago, I've revisited back to the death metal scene, because it puts a lot of smiles on my face to, look back at what I love listening to. The albums that I did buy on CD: Morbid Angel's Altars of Madness,
classic.
Suffocation's Effigy of the Forgotten.
Classic.
Immolation with Majesty and Decay.
A classic.
I have already shown For Victory by Bolt Thrower, but
Classic.
there is one band I always love that I feel, really privileged to be a person in this city of Birmingham, and that I will show some of their albums. And if I can get these out properly, and the band that I'm talking about is oh, wrong one. That's the Apocalypse Now soundtrack. That's a mistake. Shown live. That is Napalm Death.
Ah, Harmony Corruption. That's some good old grindcore there.
Yeah, sorry about that, guys, but I do love Apocalypse Now.
There's nothing wrong with Apocalypse Now.
Yeah, one of my top 10 movies of all time. But anyways, this one is my favourite.
Oh, yeah, I will have to agree with you there. That's one of my favourite. That is my actual all-time favourite.
My favourite grindcore album, and I do like some grindcore a lot, but this is the one, when I think of that word grindcore, I just go to this.
Of course. You can't go wrong with the second album, From Enslavement to Obliteration, and of course I just saw Scum there.
Yeah, I was just going to show that. Here it is.
Scum people.
Is
that the one with the DVD on it? Or was that original? Because there's one you can get a DVD on it.
A 2018 Earache Records re-release.
Oh, I got the one with the DVD on it with Mick Harris talking about Scum and From Enslavement to Obliteration.
Awesome. This is a great album. It's a classic, but From Enslavement to Obliteration just, to me, defines the band. And I had listened to
Absolutely
Utopia Banished, which I really like a lot too. And Harmony Corruption, the first album with Barney, which is really good album.
And there we go, there's the classic lineup. Well, that lineup. And then Mick Harris left after a tour in 91, and then they got Danny Herrera, I think his last name is, the drummer they got now.
Yeah, I'll have to look this up properly.
We'll do it later.
And I think I've just seen something on your page. There's one comment, but here is
I've noticed that.
Top 5 favourites from the band.
That's Fear,
Emptiness, and Despair.
That's a good one.
I think this is, for me being a Napalm Death fan, I think this one is pretty underrated. And
I don't think it gets chatted about much.
This one really grows into some more of that groove-oriented kind of riffage, but it still has these brilliant sounds of the musicianship and their signature sound. But I personally love this one. I say a bit more than this one, but I think this one is really, really good. I love the way the vocals sounded more raw and raspy with Barney's vocals. And,
with Barney on it, yeah.
It can be pretty dismissive for some fans, but I think this is one of my favourites. But the first Napalm Death album that I have ever bought, actually, when it came out, and it was Utilitarian.
Yeah. That's what year did that come out again? Was that
2012.
2012.
Then I heard Apex Predator Easy Meat, which is fantastic.
Yeah. There's a lot of different... I'm just trying to think of the Napalm Death albums now.
It's just a big bundle.
There's a big bundle. That's just with any band though. They all got these big amounts of albums, and you can't think of them all.
Yeah, don't worry about it, man.
Yeah, there's all these different albums, of course. Now let's go back to you with your music. Are you working on anything at the moment, like an album or? Not really, or.
I haven't been like in a really productive matter of making original songs.
Oh,
but
fair.
I have been mostly inspired by different styles of music. I love to make songs that are psychedelic, mostly Jimi Hendrix based, because Hendrix is my favorite guitar player of all time. But then I discover different guitar players with separate sounds,
Yeah.
with different pedal boards,
Yeah,
and
definitely.
different gear. Seeing many different guitar players being one of my heroes.
Yeah, Jimi Hendrix
like,
is amazing.
Like other heroes of mine, like Peter Green, Danny Kirwan, Tony Iommi,
Tony Iommi,
David Gilmour.
I'm not worthy.
Floyd, and so many. But in terms of heavier sides of music, I would like to come back into my productive works of making just original songs.
Yeah, because I'll give it a listen as well. Because I know you listened to my band Herbicidal's album and you really liked it.
Yes.
What
I did.
What was it you liked about it specifically?
I liked the album because of its raw nature to it, and I think
it's very DIY.
Sorry?
It's very DIY as well, because we didn't record it in an actual studio. We recorded it at the rehearsal studio. But I don't think it really matters because it fits with what our music style is. Sorry, I interrupted you.
There's so many black metal albums, like from the early 90s, that were really quite similar sounding to what I've been listening to on Herbicidal's album. But I really think the songs themselves have their own soundscape, and I don't know if that's the right word, but I like the rawness and the sinister feeling, the sinister vibe of the music.
Yeah.
And with your vocals, that is a great addition and a big blend of the instrumentation.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, because because I got interviewed for a mate's radio show. I'll link you to it later. He asked me about my vocal, saying, "Oh, it's very like emotional vocals, like I'm just because really my I've noticed that with my vocals, because I just get all my anger and aggression out just by screaming into a microphone, telling it to go do one or whatever, just telling the world, sod off, leave me alone, let me relax, let me ferment, or whatever the blinking word is."
Yeah, you just want to be a vocalist that wants to deliver how you want to have a sound of your own, especially with other metal vocalists that becomes really expressive and lets his emotions out, like Jonathan Davis of Korn, for example.
Yeah, there's an I was just going to mention Korn again, because that's a big one of your favourite bands, as I could see by your video, your Korn one.
Yeah, I was just saying Jonathan Davis as like an example, and I do like the fact that you want to be in that kind of atmosphere, that you have your own emotions, you have your own sound that you want to cast out to the music, and that's what I love about musicians like yourself, and with many musicians.
Yeah, I'm glad you liked it, because I liked it when you messaged me back after I linked you it, saying, "Oh, you kind of got a David Vincent vocals." I was like, well, I was kind of going for more Carl Willits from Bolt Thrower and a bit of Randy Blythe from Lamb of God, but I'll give you David Vincent, because I think I added a bit of David Vincent in there.
Yeah.
Little bit, not too much. Not overly David Vincent.
You can portray a sound that you feel that sounds really fitting and confident in yourself as a metal musician, and also props to the rest of Herbicidal for putting in a lot of effort.
Yeah, definitely.
As much as yourself.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, because the bassist, Mr. Foxon, as you will see when you go on Bandcamp, he's got another band called Warrior Pope, and they just released that album.
Nice.
Called Millified Man, which I bought and downloaded. I'm going to give a really good proper listen today, if I don't do any music stuff today, and something like that. But I heard one track from it so far, so I thought, listen to one track and then get the whole album, and then listen to the whole thing. It's really good because my mate Russ, who's a big death metal fan as well, he likes a lot of the Swedish death metal stuff. He's the vocalist for the band. And if you hear his vocals, they're really great as well, because I've heard his vocals live, and yeah, he's a great vocalist, and he's got me into a lot of different bands as well, like ones I already got into, which I'll tell you about in a minute. But yeah, I'm really glad you like the album. We got a good reception from it. It's very raw sounding, because it's not like some albums get like that polished sort of feel.
Yeah.
But when I'm not about that, I want it not too rough, like you can't hear anything. You know.
You just want to make it. You just want to make it with a sound that is the most comfortable for what you want to hear.
Definitely. That's the thing. I thought my camera was going to fall over then. Don't want to ruin this interview, because I had to turn that filter off, because I looked and you had a filter on with big glasses and a bow tie. I had to turn it off.
All right.
I was just like, when did I put that on? Oh, it must have been when I started it. Never mind. So you're gonna look a bit like that throughout the video, but don't worry, we can redeem ourselves for a little bit longer. Sorry, folks. Right. I thought you just glitched. You're fine. Right. No, that's good that you like the album. You like what my band brought out, and it's good that you're doing music as well, and you're going to do some your own stuff, and you know, just no, it's great that musicians bring out their own music, or they cover songs, or you know, or they got other hobbies outside of music. Is there anything you do when you're not doing like music, you know, writing music, playing video games? Do you do like any crafting or sewing, like sewing stuff or whatever?
I think the stuff that I love doing outside of playing games and being away from video making on my channel and playing guitar, I do like to think about my time of growing the taste of movies, because I do love some movies myself.
What's your favourite?
So my favourite movie is always The Silence of the Lambs.
That is a brilliant film, I have to say. It's fantastic.
Yeah.
Absolutely fantastic film. I can't even think mine, because it changes pretty much every single day. But I think mine has to be The Thing by John Carpenter. That has to be my favourite.
Yeah, The Thing.
That's my favourite.
His fantastic ideas and the effects. It just looks really grossly and sickening, but it's perfectly well executed, with a lot of the stuff that's been all over the place with the monster, and the thing is one of the best remakes of all time. I'm more into the. I mean, I've seen the original from the 50s, and I've seen John Carpenter's one, but I saw the one after that and wasn't a fan. And the reason why was because all the monsters was CGI. I'm not a CGI fan when it comes to that. I even saw behind the scenes footage of it, and they had all practical effects. But then they changed it last minute, and it's like, why do you? I like practical effects, even if they look really cheesy. I still love them. I do love The Thing. It's really one of my favourite movies of all time.
It's absolutely brilliant.
For anybody that is a big fan of horror movies, like myself, my personal favourite is the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Yes, that's a fantastic film. I love that. Also, Friday the 13th, Nightmare on Elm Street, Halloween. One of my favourite. Was that Shining?
Yeah.
Yeah, Shining's great as well. One of my favourite underrated slasher films is The Burning. Now, that's fantastic.
Oh, The Burning. Now, that was a movie.
Yeah, because
from the past in my mind that I wanted to check out.
Yeah, because Tom Savini, as well as doing the effects on Friday the 13th and Maniac and the fourth Friday the 13th and Dawn of the Dead, he did the effects in that, and you can tell it's him because of how well his effects look. Definitely.
Mm-hmm.
And Tom Savini's one of my favourite effects artists in the horror genre. Definitely, because he knows how to make splatter. Knows how to make splatter like really good, like splattering of blood, the decapitated heads, and we're going horror films here, folks.
It can't be a lot of that grotesque stuff.
The grotesque stuff. Well, speaking of grotesque, there's a Swedish band called Grotesque, which was Thomas from At the Gates' earlier band.
Oh, really?
That's his earlier band, yeah, and his vocals still sound like they sound on At the Gates. This was more like early Black and Death sort of stuff.
Nice.
But yeah, do you ever find when you watch horror films and you listen to like metal music or death metal, it seems to fit? It fits really well.
Well, for that kind of combination, it's not a problem whatsoever.
No, it's
not. It has to suit that kind of genre and style. So
yeah, it's got because I'm just like, I love horror films, I love death metal. Let's find someone who made a music video on YouTube, put a death metal song with it and a horror film, because there's one horror film, it's classed as a cannibal film. It's called Anthropophagus Beast. And there's a band called Bone Gnawer. They stopped for a bit. I don't know how they're going to come back. And it's the vocalist Cam Lee, who actually used to be in Death when they were called Mantis.
Oh, cool.
And his vocals are amazing because he started doing the whole death metal vocals before death metal was even a thing.
Yeah.
Back in '83. And his band Bone Gnawer, one of their songs is called Anthropophagus Beast, and the person who made the video put it with it, and it fits perfectly because it's basically the song is about the film. It's saying what's in the film. I'll link it. I'll link it later, and I'll link the band because it's him, a musician called Roger. I'm not going to say his last name because I might mess it up, but he's a fantastic musician because he's got his own one-man project, his own project, which is just his own name, and is on a different record label. Cam Lee's a big innovator in the death metal scene because, like I said, he was in early stages of Death, and then he had Massacre, which is another great band because their first album is very H.P. Lovecraft inspired. From Beyond, which is one of his stories. And he's got another band called The Grotesquerie, which is basically H.P. Lovecraft themed death metal, if that's fair to say. If he says, no, that's not fair to say. No, actually, he would say it's fair to say because it's very love. If you read any of Lovecraft's books and heard anything by The Grotesquerie, you can tell it's very Lovecraft worship.
Yeah.
Very Lovecraft worship. And also, because obviously Lovecraft's had a big impact, big influence on a lot of bands. Like, you go to Metallica's second album, Ride the Lightning. I thought I was going to brain fart again. Long day. There's was it Call Cthulhu? There we go. Call Cthulhu is the instrumental one. That's a Lovecraft inspired song. And there's a lot of metal bands, obviously, like thrash and death, and mainly death metal, because a lot of them go like, what can we have as a lyrical theme? Lovecraft, cool. Well, what can we sing about? I don't know, just make it up. Or go with a story. because I'm looking at my big book from over here, and I got a lot of stories to read from that. Do you read any books? Are you a big book reader or not so much?
I'm not really a book reader, but I quite liked to read books that interests me, especially like some self-help book called Think and Grow Rich.
Oh, cool.
But that book basically explores many different steps on having a lot of confidence and to bring your productivity to life and be in a positive mental attitude, because that's what I love to be. But for other books, if I would have to read various ones, I quite liked to read about other autobiographies from musicians like Pete Townsend to Johnny Cash and
that's cool.
John Lennon.
John Lennon as a musician.
Yeah, but for other books that interest me, I would like to come back to reading of novels from The Godfather, Silence of the Lambs, etc.
Yeah.
Because those kinds of things that I like to actually think about doing again. So.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, just I try to read when I can. Obviously, a lot of the time is a bit like, okay, I'm gonna read a book before I go to bed. I don't end up doing that because I'm just like, put music on instead, watch YouTube on Facebook, which I shouldn't really do after a while, but it's like, bugger it.
Yeah, fair enough, man. Fair enough.
I tried to read books. My laptop's crap. Not my laptop, my tablet.
Yeah.
If my laptop was crap, the image would be gone.
I don't know if there's still some people that are still here or.
Yeah, I'm looking. There's like 2 viewers, and I've only had 2 comments. But I should have actually told people, oh yeah, I'm doing this today. Oh well.
Fair enough.
Oh well, don't matter. I'm going to repost it anyway.
Yeah, but I think once this will be done, they would look back at it and watch it and see what they think of it. But I feel obliged and appreciated to be in this sort of stream, mate, and I am really glad to be in a part of it.
Yeah, thanks for taking part as well, and giving your free time to do this. That's I really enjoy it. Really enjoyed you came on. I don't, because in my last streams I was sat down, but I thought I'd put my camera there and try and stand up. This is kind of a bad idea. I need to get a stool.
Oh, right.
I need to get a stool just put right here and be like, so we're talking about metal on Jake's Metal Chat. What do you want to hear? What do you want to hear on Jake's Metal Chat? I'm not doing a posh voice. If anyone's expecting that, you're not getting it. Maybe. No.
Let me get my monocle.
Look at my monocle. Look at my glass of. Look at my glass of sherry. No, I'm not like that. So, well, I'm weird. People will know me. If I say, oh, I'm just weird, people are like, yeah. Yeah, you're a little bit weird, Mr. Bristow.
But to think of that description of a person as weird, just because of the feeling of weird, it's obvious to say it's better than being normal. Yeah,
definitely. Yeah, I just act nuts when I'm at festivals or when I'm chatting to mates, and I just say some really stupid, bizarre stuff, and like, not bizarre as in, okay, that's a little bit too far, like, sort of bizarre, like bizarre as in I say something stupid, because a mate of mine phoned me up on Facebook, and I just went, what do you want? And he just burst out laughing.
Oh man.
It's just
yeah, that's pretty funny.
That is pretty funny.
I think for stuff that I've been listening to lately, one of the albums that I played since the last month was from Master Sirius.
Yes.
By Gojira, and
Gojira.
I have got the record of the album. Didn't mean to stop there, but I love this album as my personal favorite in their discography. So
yeah, that's a
absolute monster.
Yeah, yeah, it is a brilliant album, and I'm gonna say again, mine's signed.
Yes, yours is signed, and
mine's signed by the entire
I
band.
haven't got a lot of signed, but I have some.
Some, yeah, I got a Napalm Death vinyl from like a Pale session, signed by Barney, even though he wasn't on the session. He didn't write his name on it. He drew a penis. It's just okay, that's fine. This was 2011, and my mate Chris, I'm going to mention again, was on my back. I fell over thinking, oh, I lost my balance. Turned around, he busted his eyebrow open in the pillar in the Fleece, which is one of the biggest venues here in Bristol. I was like, oh crap. Like, okay, I think I killed my mate.
Oh dear.
Wow. This is, like I said, thank you for coming on and showing us some of your CDs as well. For anyone that's getting into metal, like either you want to listen to Motorhead or Slipknot or Unleashed or Gojira first, it's entirely up to you. You don't have to start like I did when I went, Metallica, Maiden, Pantera, and who else? There's a lot of bands. Many bands, let's say that.
At least that we still feel really connected to just present what we like, and even though it's like not the full list, but it's like a lot of what we love. So now that you've mentioned some of the signed stuff, one of my first.
That's what we're here for, folks.
This was actually a present for me. This was a present when I turned 15 years older. This was a new release at the time, and this was Slipknot's All Hope Is Gone.
Nice.
Which is signed by Joey Jordison. But here's the thing. I did not get Joey to sign this. This was because one of my dad's friends, who's a big Slipknot fan, he had seen them live, and he wanted Joey to sign this. As you can see, Joey's name's there, and there's the number one. And so he decided, with his kindness, to give it to Dad and to give it to me as his present to me when I turned 15.
That's cool.
And,
Joey Jordan's signature as well.
Yes. Ailstorm brings to mind.
Ailstorm. Oh, we got to talk about Ailstorm before we finish this. We can't end this one until we mention Ailstorm.
Yes. So I need to get their new album, Curse of the Crystal Coconut.
Yeah, I'm going to get that
on red-colored vinyl through Nuclear Blast, but I'm hoping that it will arrive. I promised to Chris that I will review the new album.
Oh, Chris is a funny guy. He's an awesome bloke. When I went out drinking with him a bunch of times years ago, and then obviously, years ago, I mean the 2000s, and I had to stop uni because Ailstorm was taking off.
Yeah.
And
so
they went on tour, and he's come back since, and me and my mate, who I've mentioned countless bloody times now, we went out drinking with him at the Griffin, and then we went to a place called Mother's Ruin, and then we ended up in another place, which obviously half of it's a blur after that. If you want to know what that place is, he can probably tell you himself.
Yeah, so Chris is a really cool guy.
Yeah, he's brilliant.
Here's the story about the Back Through Time album.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So
just get back a bit.
This is also a limited digibook, by the way.
I do like that. It's a rat.
With 2 covers of the song of "I'm a Cider Drinker" and "You Are a Pirate."
Ah, yes.
So with Back Through Time, this album, I have made a random video of putting top 3 albums of 2011, and this was number 1. The other 2 were Triviums in Waves at number 3, and Machine Heads Onto the Locust at number 2.
Yeah.
So I put Ailstorm's album Back Through Time at number 1, and they've actually seen that video. So this was when Danny used to be in the band.
Yeah.
They've made a quick video messaging me to see the band and to meet the band for the first time at the Slade Rooms venue in Wolverhampton.
Yeah, I haven't been to that one.
This was at the same time that I discovered Claim the Throne, who are an amazing Australian folk metal, melodic death metal band. For those that are interested to check them out. But yeah, I've met Ailstorm, and they're super fun guys, really nice guys. So I managed to get the booklet signed. So like I said, this was when Danny used
that's when Danny was still in the band.
So I got that, and got the Leviathan EP signed by.
Oh, I haven't got that.
And got the other first two Ailstorm albums while I was there with my father and Callum, my best friends, because Callum is the guy that got me into Ailstorm. So
it was my brother for me.
And last thing, I could get it out. As you can see, this is a Floor Tom drum skin, and it's entirely signed by the rest of the band, involving Claim the Throne and Darkest Era. They were the other band that supported Ailstorm.
Nice.
So a lot of the signatures, and the drummer Peter Alcorn did draw the band name and the flag, and this is from their Useless Drunken Bastards tour.
Useless Drunken Bastards. I love it.
Yeah, so it's just bringing me a lot of happiness in me, and I'll never forget this, as this was one of my most prized possessions in the collection.
Yeah, here's one of mine. A drum skin signed by Lamb of God.
That is amazing.
Yeah, because the story behind this, actually, because me and my mate Chris saw him. I'm just going to mention him again because he's an awesome bloke. We were outside the O2 here in Bristol. We wanted to meet Lamb of God. They come back into their tour bus, and there was a bunch of us waiting to see them, but none of them came out. But one of their roadies came out with some of these, and they all signed by the band.
Perfect. That is something.
Yeah, Randy's is the grey one. Logo, all the other guys are on there, so I'm gonna just stick that there for the time being. Hopefully, it doesn't fall over.
Yeah.
And I keep getting messages. Who's messaging me? Shut up.
Don't worry about it.
I'll just check a minute.
For Claim the Throne, any metalhead that likes to discover bands in various countries,
I'll check
obviously later. With the other greats, Rammstein to In Flames, Meshuggah, etc. But Claim the Throne, guys, check these guys out if you like melodic death metal with folk metal stuff in as well. This is their first album, Triumph and Beyond, and their album Forged in Flame.
I'll have to check these guys out.
I've reviewed this album for the band, and what was really grateful for them to do is that they've credited my YouTube channel name at the end of this album's booklet. So
that's always good. That's always good when they credit. It's always good when they.
I discovered Claim the Throne when I've met Ailstorm in person, and they're really cool as well.
Yeah, that's brilliant. It's always good when they credit you, like as I got credited a bunch of times in different albums and EPs, and
yeah,
it's always good when people, you know, credit you, like saying, "Oh, I love the album," or because I did a chat with a local band here, and they shared it around, and I was I'm very happy they took the time to do it, you know.
Yeah, it's really cool that a lot of bands take a lot of their dedication to the fans, and to even have your name on a physical copy of an album or on a thanks list on a public post online, or stuff like that. That is super dedication.
Yeah, super dedication, because there's a band here called Seprivation, the Death Thrash, and their first EP, Ritual Abuse. All 4 of them thanked me. And every thank you they got, because they thanked like a lot of the same people, and I'm in every single thanks, because I was at their first show back in 2011.
Awesome. That is awesome stuff.
And I was wearing my Phantasm t-shirt, which is now a great film, by the way. Yeah, I'll get rid of my tablet because that's rubbish. But before we end this awesome chat, this very funny chat, filtered chat at one point. Sorry about that, folks. And maybe the lighting's a bit rubbish, but probably brighten it up before you upload it. You got any last messages for people out there who want to know more about your channel?
So to anybody that is interested on what I've been talking about with Jake on this stream, as that he is a big fanatic of music like myself, definitely check out my YouTube channel, TheStrongBoyz19. I make tons of videos of album reviews in any genre, to updates, a few live streams, discussions, topics of different stuff in music, and doing a few collaborative stuff, a few movie reviews, since I've been coming back to review movies again, and to be that kind of guy that likes to be really passionate at what I love to share as much as Jake. So for those that are interested, once again,
TheStrongBoyz. YouTube channel. So it's TheStrongBoyz19. Remember that? I'll link people anyway.
Yeah, so if any of you guys are interested, feel free to subscribe to my channel and check out my videos.
There you go. So thank you very much for taking the time to chat to me. This hairy git. And yeah, don't shave your beard.
No, last time I shaved my beard was a few months ago, but once the quarantine's over, I'm looking forward to see how much of this is, going to be really long.
I mean, yeah, even if you shave the beard off, keep the mustache. Keep the mustache.
It's really messy at the moment, but
yeah, mine's a bit short there, long there. Just trying to keep it long there. Short bits. What did you get in my mouth and I end up eating my mustache?
Yeah.
So thank you very much, Greg. Enjoy the rest of your day, and hopefully just have a general chat. Not like this, but just a general chat.
It's all fun, dude.
It's all fun. Thank you very much. Check out his channel and show him your support.
Cheers, guys.
Cheers, man. Have a good day.
You too.
Well, that went well, I think. Hang on, let me just get rid of that. Yeah, I thought I'd do it like this. I'll get rid of the get rid of the herbicidal thing. Yeah, check out Herbicide 2. Greg. Oh, yeah, that was like an hour and a half, nearly 2 hours. Got 2 people liking it. Yeah, I should have talked about this a bit more. Oh, David Gregor, one of my guests. Brad is the one who commented the most. Yeah, I think next time I better actually do a proper like share around. I mean, this is still brand new people, so expect a few mess ups from time to time, but just looking at a bit of the footage. Yeah, you are going to see Greg with a filter on, because I think I clicked on the filter by accident. Just someone a bit new to the stream. Next time that's not going to happen. I think I got a bit of that filter as well, so some people might find that a bit funny. If you find it funny, that's good. I can make you laugh as well as chat to some amazing people. So Friday will be with Cam of the Graw. Hope he's doing well himself, and to have a long chat. I'll probably have my camera back over by where my bed is, because the lighting is a bit on the shite side. But just get up a bit. Yeah, so thank you for tuning in. For those who did tune in, this will be going on YouTube as well. And if anyone else has got any topics you want me to chat about in non-chat chats with musicians, then let me know in the comments to this live stream or into YouTube, and I will sure to get back to you.